Now for Money Watch. A recent report by the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation shows that the rate of new entrepreneurs in the U.S. increased between 2019 and 2020 in spite of the pandemic. For every 100,000 adults in the U.S., an average of 380 created a new business each month last year. That's compared to 2019, where the monthly average was around 310. So Philp Gaskin, Vice President of Entrepreneurship at the Kauffman Foundation, is here to discuss this. So Philip, some people may be surprised by this, but I guess in a way, I mean, if you lose your job, or even if you have your job, but you're a little uncertain, you might decide to start a side hustle or something. What accounts, do you say though, what accounts for the rising rates, and what's the current landscape when it comes to starting a new business?
Thank you. We're seeing a lot of entrepreneurial activity right now, and Kauffman Foundation, as you mentioned, recently released our Kauffman Indicators of Early Stage Entrepreneurship. These indicators revealed the highest rate of new entrepreneurs in the last 25 years, all during a pandemic. But we've seen this before in other economic downturn, times of economic downturn. Companies like Uber and Venmo and Airbnb and Groupon were all launched during the Great Recession. And even with all this new business activity, which is promising at face value, we see that entrepreneurs are more often still starting businesses out of necessity rather than choice. So the barriers still exist. And if we pay close attention to the demographics, we see that Black and other people of color, women, entrepreneurs in rural areas just have a tougher time getting businesses off the ground due to these systemic challenges. So the bottom line is too many entrepreneurs are left out of the economy, that 83% of entrepreneurs do not access bank loans or venture capital at the time of starting a business. So we need to support policies that help everyday entrepreneurs and small business owners instead of just prioritizing the larger folks.
Let's dig into that a little bit, because I know an awful lot of people who are entrepreneurial, have great ideas, but it is tougher when you're part of an underserved community or minority community. What needs to change about the ecosystem to create an environment that is more conducive to the growth of businesses from communities that seem to struggle?
You're absolutely right. We look at business closings, 41% of Black-owned businesses, 32% of Latino business owners, 26% of Asian American Pacific Islander business owners closed their businesses during the pandemic. And then the second issue being capital. On average, Black entrepreneurs start with much less capital, less family wealth. Women entrepreneurs also deal with lack of access to capital and VC funding. And so the same thing goes for rural areas, where we see so much venture capital just going to 5 metropolitan areas across the United States. So we have to look at our entrepreneurial ecosystems. How do we build those into policies that are designed from the bottom up, inclusively, interdependently? If we do that, we can succeed. If we don't, we're going to continue to make the same mistakes.
So in the meantime, this is the environment that we are dealing with. How can entrepreneurs thrive in the current environment? And, what can the broader public do to support them?
I say entrepreneurship has got to be transformational, not transactional. But we can't put it all on the entrepreneurs. They're doing the hard work. They're doing the good work. They're starting the businesses. Again, we have to start with our entrepreneurial ecosystems being strong and more connected, so that entrepreneurs don't stumble going through so many roadblocks trying to get to success. But that's one of the reasons why we released Kauffman Foundation's America's New Business Plan recently, is to provide a roadmap for policymakers at the local level, the state level, the federal level, to strengthen access to entrepreneurship for those who are just underrepresented today. And that plan's got 4 key pillars. It's all about access to opportunity, access to funding, access to knowledge, access to support. So if we can see these changes at the local, state, and federal level, I think we'll be making some progress, but that's got to start today.
Yeah, it would be transformational. Philp Gaskin, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.